This is Pablo Medrano, is one of our new police officers that we're going to swear in today. He graduated from the University of Texas here, the Brownsville Police Academy, and one of the top in his class, and got a very high score in his T-close test, and for the state he also has a bachelor's degree from the University of Texas in Brownsville in criminal justice, and we're going to swear him in at this time as a police officer for the Port of Brownsville.
Very few police officers get their swearing in televised to a valley-wide audience, so I'll just have you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Pablo Medrano.
I, Pablo Medrano.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
That I will faithfully execute the duties of peace officer of the state of Texas.
And I will faithfully execute the duties of peace officer of the state of Texas.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution and laws of the United States.
The Constitution and laws of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Can I get a group picture?
You have the white ones?
Are we all there?
Smile. One more.
Does pin his badge on first?
Who's that?
The badge on.
Hi,
Hey,
Vicky.
make it official.
And then the kids and all that.
I always wanted to wear one of those.
Don't say.
No.
I was always afraid of one of
You
those.
were afraid of.
Workman's comp.
Tómale fotos, stop blushing. I went to Catholic school. I didn't say about you.
No, I didn't go to school.
A ver, Pablo, turn smile this way. Thank you.
John, you need more practice at this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
George.
it's been a while.
Looks good. Looks
All
good.
right, now you look like a police officer.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Well, good afternoon and good evening, everyone, and welcome to our regularly scheduled March board meeting at the Brownsville Navigation District. If everybody would please stand. And Vicki, if you'd lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather here today. We ask that you please bless those that are here today and those missing. We thank you for our board members and staff to make the best decisions for our port. Grant us all your serenity that we may continue upon our path and accomplish all that comes before us. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Liss, if you'd lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time of our meeting that we have reserved for public comment. Actually, the first of two public comment periods. This first public comment period is where anyone who wishes to speak to an item that is on the agenda can come and sign up with our receptionist and be recognized. We also have a second public comment period at the end of our meetings where you can speak to an item even if it is not on the agenda. We have no one signed up for public comment, therefore we'll move to the first item of business on the agenda, which is item 1, approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of February 15th, 2006, and March 3rd, 2006, as well as the minutes of the special board meeting of February 21st, 2006.
Make a motion to approve with one change that was given to us.
Yeah, but I had a change. Everybody should have a yellow line version of a change to item 11, to the March 3rd minutes. Let's see, I thought I had something else. No, that's it.
I'll second the motion with these changed.
All right. Do we have a motion and a second? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? There are none. Mr. Liss, Port Director's report.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, and our visitors this afternoon. Have some good things to report today. especially as we've all been focusing and working very hard from Washington, D.C. all the way down to Galveston and all the parties here to regain our depth, our channel depth in the entrance. And this has been a major feat. I was reading some comments that the port director made, the port director of New Orleans made, about their recovery and how in most ways they're back to 100% after being hit by several hurricanes, and very upbeat comments that he made about it's not how far you fall, it's how you bounce back. And I think that that's the message this afternoon, and that we all are very grateful to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and all the people that helped out. What was put together was not an easy feat. There was no funding and there was no equipment to carry out this project, but today it was done, and this afternoon, sitting in this boardroom, our pilots have officially taken the restriction off of the entrance of the channel, and where we were restricted to ships with draft of 36 feet, it's now been lifted and officially is 39 feet again, which is what we were before. And in fact, we have a vessel ship owner that is waiting for this information right now to go ahead and load the ship full capacity so they can come into the port of Brownsville as they did before. So that was something special on our comments today. On another issue an issue that we have within the port and through the years, different views on that is basically when we have cargo ships coming in, there's within the ships what they call dunnage, and the dunnage is something that is a part of the business, but we have had meetings with the stevedores, we've had meeting with others, we have investigated with other ports, and the consensus is unanimous that unless you're an operating port, meaning you, the port yourself, operate and you service the ships. In our case, we're a landlord port for that purpose, and therefore it is not our responsibility to clean up the dunnage, to dispose of the dunnage, and we have so informed our stevedores of that. Now, having said that as a good partner in a friendly gesture, we're trying to find creative ways to help them dispose of this dunnage, and ESCO, for one, has offered to go look at it to see if they find value in the lumber. Apparently those are hardwoods. Some of them come from Brazil. Another entity is looking at it to possibly make furniture out of them. So if we can find a creative way to help them, we're certainly going to do that. This afternoon, Tony Rodriguez and myself, we returned from the largest cruise conference that they have in the world, and that's held at Miami Beach Convention Center, and you have over 500 exhibitors, and you have way over 1,000, probably more like 2,000 visitors from throughout the world. The cruise business is a tremendous business, and it's booming. In spite of hurricanes, in spite of everything that's gone on, it's continuing to grow. We think that at the port of Brownsville, although we're taking little steps, we think that we have an opportunity. When our Northeast representatives made their presentation to the board on the updates of what they've been carrying out, Tony Rodriguez took the initiative to talk about the cruise and an opportunity for the port of Brownsville. So we visited as many people, we networked with as many people as we could on the floor at the exhibit hall, and we were fortunate to run across the vice president for Carnival, who is a strategic person who is in charge of deciding which new ports they will consider for future business. Realistically, we're a long shot, but you never say never. We told them that if Jay Leno could come here to South Padre Island and hold his show here, that a cruise ship could find a reason to come here too. So we piqued their interest. We also talked to the Vice President of Royal Caribbean, which is I think number 2 or number 3 in the world, and they all agree that they're going to start a conversation with us, and we'll see where it leads, and hopefully as the newer, larger ships come into play, they will consider some of their other equipment to start service sometime in the future, and we're going to be working very intensely on that. Another item that is very good news for us, and last week I think I was able to communicate that to some of the commissioners, is that we have a company that is coming here as a tenant and is opening what we call a CY, a container yard. So it will be in the Port of Brownsville. It will be a bonded yard. So for all intents and purposes, this is we have become a container port in a very small way. We don't have ships here bringing containers, but that's the first step, because they start asking, do you have a CY, do you have a container depot where we can leave our empty containers, pick up loads from? So now we're going to have it, and probably in a couple of weeks they're going to be up and running. We're very excited about this, and we told them in our communication to them that not only are they a tenant, but they're a partner in our moving forward to become a containerization, to become a containerized port. And so that's very good news. Dock 16, to give a little update on that, we're in the process of reviewing our financing, our funding for that. Deputy Emard, Donna Emard, has continued to research that. There are some things that have come up, and maybe we will, bless you, maybe we will have to add insurance on to the amount of funds that we draw. So if that's the case, we're going to have to relook at it. It's going to be a little more costly than we initially thought, but we will update that as well. And that is all I had this afternoon.
Any questions?
I've got one question. On the property that we're getting back at the shrimp basin, can we get an update from the leasing department what they're doing on it so we can stay on top of it? Because we've got quite a few leases out there that are going to be available.
This is correct, and we try to look at any opportunities out there that will be compatible, because we want to make sure that within that area down there that the businesses don't interact negatively. There are a lot of things that happen, as you know, Commissioner. We're in the process of hiring a person that will be fully dedicated to bring new businesses in and look further beyond our boundaries to fulfill that. And so we're aware of that, and B. Rosenbaum is working daily on. All of us are looking at that, and Herman Rico is also charged with bringing new clients. In
the past, when property sitting vacant for a long time, it got stripped of all the electrical wiring and vandalism in them, and so just hopefully we can get someone into these leases before it deteriorates worse.
And we are also, Mr. Gavito is looking at that area, how we can better provide the security to avoid situations like you just mentioned.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. List. Item number 3, receive report from Master Plan Committee. In the absence of the chairman of the committee, Mr. De Los Santos, Donna Emard, another member of the committee, will be giving a report on behalf of the committee. So, Donna?
Commissioners, Mr. De Los Santos is not here today. He had an illness in his family, so he asked me to do this. I don't really have a written report, but I can tell you what the committee has accomplished so far. We've had 3 meetings. There's, for the sake of the people in the audience that don't know about this, we have 16 members, and we've had 3 meetings. We usually meet at 5 o'clock, and we've been meeting every 2 weeks. So we've had 3 meetings up to date. In those meetings, we've asked for some port personnel to do some presentations to the committee to get them oriented on what the comings and goings of the port is, what kind of businesses we have here, what type of activities that we do. B. Rosenbaum gave a presentation on all the land that we have leased out and the land that is available for lease. Hector Lopez gave a presentation on the infrastructure, what we have right now, what we're planning to do. Mr. Gutierrez gave a presentation on the entrance to the highway and how that would affect the port. So that's kind of the history of what we've gone over so far. In the last meeting, the charge was that we were ready to go to the next step and going out and trying to put together an RFQ to send out to companies that might be interested in coming in and giving a presentation on doing the master plan for us. Since then, I have done that, and I've distributed it to all the members of that committee. And our next meeting will be on March the 27th, which is not this coming Monday, but the following Monday, to take back any comments that they have on that RFQ, and then combine that, and then that will come to the board for your approval, and then we'll go out and then hopefully do a selection for the company. I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have any. Nope. Okay.
Thank you, Donna. Appreciate it. Item number 4, consider and act on authorizing chairman of the board to formally sign a letter agreement with Sussman Godfrey, LLP, in connection with the BND Dannenbaum litigation. This item first came up on February 15th when Mr. Willett recommended that the board authorize Mr. Renfro to negotiate a contingency fee contract. Mr. Renfro, have you done that?
Yes.
And you have presented me with a contract signed, with a contingency fee contract signed by Mr. Sussman, and is it ready for our signature as well? All right. Do we have a motion?
Make the motion.
I'll second it. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those aye. All those opposed?
The only comment I'll say is I would like to meet with them in executive session to introduce ourselves before signing it. That's my only comment.
Well, we will meet with them in executive session once there are attorneys. The motion was made and seconded to hire them. Is that your motion, Commissioner?
Yes.
And that's my second. Did you have any discussion?
Well, same as Luigi. I'd like to meet them and hear the comments before.
Well, for the record, I haven't met them either. I don't need to meet them to know that they're one of the best law firms in the country, and they're ready to represent the Brownsville Navigation District.
I'm not against hiring them either.
I'd like to hire them now and then have them advise us as our attorney in executive session.
That would be more appropriate to approve it and then talk to the executive session.
I've never met either one of the gentlemen, and I don't need to in order to hire them. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? There are none. I'll be happy to sign that contract when we have a break. Item number 5, consider and act on consulting contracts and work contracts, PPS Consult 3106, $16,387.02.
I'll make a motion for, can we do both?
Yes.
Make a motion.
Make a motion to, motion is made to approve both invoices as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? There are none. Item 6, consider and act on authorizing Cameron County to improve the drainage from the Brownsville Ship Channel to Vaida, Anca.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the improvements to Bahia Ancha connecting the ship channel will be done across BND property. Therefore, the permit application will have to be in the name in BND's name. At a September meeting or a previous meeting, you all had approved the participation in the application for the core permit. That'll be the next subject. But what we're now asking to do, the board, is to approve the use of a strip of land not to exceed 50 feet in width to make these improvements, and to authorize the board director in conjunction with the Cameron County to develop an interlocal agreement with Cameron County to make these improvements. Approval of the interlocal agreement to be done by board action. Essentially, what we're saying in here is before we go any further with the studies or anything, we need to be sure that the board is in agreement that the channel or whatever we do in there will be it's acceptable to you all.
Mr. Willis, how do you feel about this?
I follow Nino's recommendation on that.
It should improve our land there. It should improve the drainage. It also should improve the dust blowing. So I see it as improvement for our property and not going to cost us a lot of money.
You know, will it improve circulation from Bahia Grande going to the other way, or?
I think it will. What the U.S. Fish and Wildlife is doing, they're cutting some internal channels out of Bahia Grande, and one of them will go into this Little Laguna Madre. The way it's set up right now, just about will stop there at 48. And what this will do is will give us circulation to some degree across 48 and into the ship channel.
You know, I read somewhere in that you asked if they could share the cost with us, and they said it was sort of strapped for cash or something.
Well, that's on the next item.
Oh, that's not right.
Yeah.
I would just add, Mr. Chairman, that yes, since I've been here, heard several comments on the need for the flow of water in and out because of the salt levels that will kill the species that are in there. And so, you know, it's because they say, well, you got this started, and we had bad storm season when we initially accessed Bahia Grande, and that all happened very well, very quickly. We were driving by the other day, and just the wind that we had almost dried up Bahia Grande. So the more, I guess, you know, the more the access and the flow of the water in and out, the healthier it's going to be, and I think we should support that.
Yeah, I agree with you, because at one time, Laguna Madre here, before they cut at Port Mansfield, was very salty. Didn't have the circulation. That was, then finally, with the cut of the intercoastal canal, that water could circulate, it became very productive. Now this needs to circulate. If it doesn't, with the hot summer coming out, the water will evaporate and the salt will be there, and layers and layers of salt. So we need, unless it rains, you know, something needs to be done. I'll agree with you.
One of the questions that has come up is, see, we were banking mitigation points for the improvements that the pilot channel was done by Bahia Grande. Whether this could be tied also to the rehabilitation of Bahia Grande, and I talked to the court today about it, and they said, well, it's a little complicated, but they want me to write a letter, you know, asking to see if we can bank those mitigation points. However, at this point, what we're looking at in order to proceed with this permit is whether we go mitigation. It'd be desirable to get the mitigation point, but I think we need to just say, well, we're going to go through and go ahead and allow this channel to be constructed.
You will bring back the interlocal agreement that you negotiate with the county to us for approval before.
Of course.
For further action. Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion to that effect.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, there are none. Item 7, consider an act on authorizing the port director to participate in the preparation of a U.S. Corps of Engineers application to improve the flow of water from the ship channel to State Highway 48 at Bahia Anca. Participation to be limited to conducting surveys and preparing engineering exhibits. Mr. Gutierrez?
Yes, sir. At the September 7th regular board meeting, the board approved, I think we came in with a request for $10,000, and it was got back to $7,500. But for us to participate in this permit, but anyway, recently a Houston firm has offered to do this permit for free.
Who is that Houston firm?
I don't recall the name. I've got the card there in the office. I've never heard of them before. But anyway, I talked to the fellow that's going to do it, and but he needs the exhibits. He needs a survey done in the exhibits, and they asked us if the port, if we would be willing to do this same way that we handle the Bahia Grande survey and design. And what we see here is that in lieu of the $7,500, and what we're asking for is that we be allowed to in lieu of the $7,500 for us to do the survey and do the design for them. And that's the approval that I'm looking for right now. To my way of thinking, it's going to be less than $500,000 to do this work ourselves, probably even maybe around $3,000, so there would be some savings. I did approach the county, whatever expenses that we have, if they would be willing to go 50-50 on it. And of course, what they're trying to do is they're trying to find monies to do the construction. They don't have it, and they said, well, we'd rather save that money to apply it to the construction.
What interest do they have in seeing our design?
Seeing our design?
Yes, sir.
No, sir. We would work up the design for them.
Oh, but what interest would they have? It says here in your backup, provided they are furnished a design of the proposed improvement. What interest do they have in that?
Well, that the side of the proposed improvement is an exhibit to the permit application. That's what we would be preparing.
I see.
It's not a design that we already have in
I
place.
see.
What I heard about it is that Foremost dug a lot of the channels in the back between the different lakes, and they have excess money that they might take and use to make the improvements on this. And so I think there is money available. So I think all we have to do is just let them do it.
Is that a motion, Commissioner?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. There's a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? There are none. Item 8, consider and take action to award bid for limestone received on March 15, 2006. Joe? Debbie?
That's me. We received bids this afternoon, and there was one bid from Vulcan. It's one of our tenants, and it's our usual limestone supplier. And the bids were delivered to the port at $16.50 per ton, and at the stockpile it's $14.50 per ton. It's approximately 90 cents more if we go and pick it up per ton in this bid than it was in our last one, and about $1.50 delivered more than it was last time. It's I know Joe checked prices on caliche this afternoon, and they're about $15 a ton for caliche delivered, so it's not a bad bid.
Pick it up, can we?
We normally pick it up for day-to-day usage.
You save how much a ton?
About $2. $2 a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a short ton or a metric ton?
Calling dry net tons, I think they're short
Ton,
tons.
2,000 pounds. Okay.
We have a motion to approve and award the bid.
Make a motion to
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? There are none. Item 9, consider and act on securing executive search company to fill Director of Real Estate Development position. Mr. List?
Yes, we had, the board had approved the position in our budget, and I put in the backup a contingency consulting fee information to refer to. So it's basically on a contingency basis. And what we discussed was trying to find the best possible candidate. If we did not find that individual, then we would abstain from filling the position. I just think that the professionals can do a good job with this, and they would not be compensated unless they were successful in meeting our requirements.
What would be the compensation?
It's in there. It's basic.
It's 33% of the first year's taxable
salary?
compensation.
Yes, sir.
So
What is the, refresh me, my recollection.
I believe it's 52 to 75 is the range, 52,000 to 75,000.
so if we pay them 75,000, we have to pay them 25.
33.
33%.
For all the money they can make through us, Julius, that's a bargain.
Yeah, I know that.
How do we do with you? Do we do a good job hiring you?
You did good.
We didn't go out. We didn't hire somebody. We
Well-
need to try first, and then if you can't get somebody that is
This is a little more
Well, but the
specialized. specific,
problem with doing that, Commissioner, is that it puts a lot of politics of the process. And if we do this way, then we take the politics out of it. We get the best qualified person, and it's not somebody's compadre. You know, it's the best qualified person.
It could be a local person.
Could
but,
be.
But we'll get from all areas, and be able to pick the best person, and that's what we want.
I don't think we're going to rush into it.
And we're not rushing.
Quick.
We're not rushing at all.
For that same reason, I think we should look for ourselves first to see if we get the right candidate, and then if we're not successful, I think we should then come back and revisit this with this option. But I think first we have to look ourselves before making an expenditure that we may not need.
But again, if they don't satisfy us, we don't have any expenditure.
Right, but if we find the right person without going through them, we save some money and we get the right person.
Could we do it as quickly and as well as a headhunter, as the professionals in this field?
is
But if
the
we're not-
reason I'm bringing it, yeah.
Yeah, but if we're not hurrying into it, I think we should just do it ourselves. That's my
I
point.
have feelings both ways, so
Well,
I'm kind of on the fence.
I have to agree with Luigi because you, for instance, we wanted to go professional, and we
Well-
got a very good man.
Well, but let's be very clear, Commissioner. Mr. List was recommended to this position by a headhunter who didn't charge us.
Well-
It was a headhunter that told him of this opportunity.
Was the head firm the same company that, is this the same head company that referred you?
Yes, they're very good people, and
But they're
they
the
have a
same.
good relationship with us. They're very professional, and I've been police, but it has no relationship with doing.
But I mean, let's be very clear. What I told the board during the search process was that I had calls from 2 headhunters, and I told each of them that the board was not interested in using a headhunter because the board felt that it was too expensive. The second headhunter that called me, I said, but you can always send us someone, and we'd be happy to interview him. And she said to me, well, I can't do that. That's how we get paid. And unbeknownst to us, and unbeknownst to me, she told Mr. List about this opportunity, and that's when he applied. We wouldn't have known of him without that headhunter. So you ask, did we use a headhunter? No, but it was a headhunter that found him.
What I'm telling you, Peter, it could happen again. It won't cost us anything.
Lightning strikes once.
I mean, if it happens again, we save money.
Well, I want to do what the port director wants to do.
I do too,
If you
and
want to do it, I'll make the motion.
and I'll second it. I think he has a right to select his staff, and if this is the method that he wants to go, it's not an unreasonable
And
proposition.
a month into it, if we're not satisfied with the process, we can back off and go do it on our own.
I think we have to be prudent with the taxpayers' money, and I just at this time I would have to vote against it, not because of this firm. I don't know who they are, just because I believe that we should look ourselves first, see if there's somebody is available, and if they're not, then we can revisit it. So for that reason, I'm going to have to vote against it.
All right, so
Not against the position, just against using
Understand.
this firm.
the motion is made to use this search company. The motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion failed by virtue of a deadlock 2-2. We'll bring it back at another time. Item number 10, consider and take action on the adoption of the Secretary's certificate and resolution to govern the handling of account and approve the signature cards for the demand deposit and select CD accounts at Lone Star Bank for the vendor and payroll accounts to add Bernard List and Joe Saban as signors.
Yes, sir. This is a housekeeping issue. We normally have all of our directors and the port director as signors. With some changes in our personnel, we're catching up with this. We're asking you to approve this for us.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? There are none. Item 11, consider and act on the following leases. Number 1, Jonick Lopez International Transport. B.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this new lease to Jonick Lopez is to be effective March the 15th for 5 years with one renewal option of 5 years. It's for the purpose of a construction of a warehouse for the storage of plywood and sheet metal. The rent is to be $8,712 a year, and it's this lease is ready for the board's consideration.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? There are none. Item 2, Foremost Paving, Inc., new lease.
This new lease replaces a temporary agreement that we have with them. It's to be effective March the 11th. It's for 1 year with one renewal option of 1 year. The purpose is for the construction yard, field office, equipment and storage in connection with the construction of Highway 48. And this new lease is ready for the board's consideration.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? There are none. Item 3, A.E. Cantu and Gus Martin.
This new lease replaces expired BND contract 2940, effective October the 1st, 2005. It's for 1 year with 9 renewal options of 1 year. It's for the purpose of grazing and $900 a year, and this new lease is ready for the board's consideration.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? There are none. Item 4, South Steel L.U. Inc.
This new lease replaces lease that is due to expire April the 30th. It's to be effective May the 1st for 5 years with 5 renewal options of 5 years each. It's for manufacturing roofing material, loading and unloading steel, steel, scrap, and used clothing. The rent is $10,000 a year, and this lease is ready for the board's consideration.
Is there
Motion to approve.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, there are none. Item 12, consider and take action on assignments, negotiations, easements, subleases, and contracts in general. Item 1, Oil Patch Fuel and Supply, Inc.
Yes, their present lease is due to expire at the end of this month, and they're asking for a new lease, and I'm asking the board to give me authority to negotiate a new lease.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, Commissioner Gayman is abstaining. Item 2, Gulf Facilities, Inc.
This contract is also has expired February the 28th, and they're requesting a new lease, and I'm asking the board to give me authority to negotiate a new lease with Gulf Facilities.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, there are none. Item 3, SPI Seascape, Inc.
This company has purchased some improvements at the ex-Francisco Abrigo site at the fishing harbor, and they're asking to lease the site for the purpose of seafood unloading and vessel tie-up, and I'm asking the board to give me authority to negotiate with this company.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, there are none. Item 4, Terrier Transportation, Inc.
This is a company that Mr. Liz mentioned that they'd like to lease a site, a 3-acre site, to start a container yard and trucking operation. And I'm asking the board to give me authority to negotiate with this company for this purpose.
Where would the lease be?
We're talking about in this area of 3 acres for container yard. This is the area we had. Here's Dock 15. It would be across the street. This is our patio area where we have steel, and then this area, it would be the area that we're proposing to
We
them.
don't have any patio there now.
No, they would make the improvements, sir.
Make a motion to approve.
Any discussion?
Just, will we ever, do you foresee a need for making the road any wider or anything like that right there? Being that Dock 15 and 16 is going to be there, hopefully?
Talking about Austin's Road?
Yeah.
Kind of hemmed in, you know, we really cannot expect too much more.
Okay, so we're okay with that? Okay.
Because of the yard, I'm sorry.
Yes, because of just because of the docks and maybe the flow of trucks going back and forth, and that would be I guess the entry and exit of those trucks, basically from Dock 15 and 16. I'm just looking futuristically if there's not a need when we do the contract to make a little bit easement of maybe possible for the in the future.
If you go further to the west, we have the railroad there on one side and a drainage ditch on the other side, and we really are just cannot move any place.
Okay.
What you're thinking is sound, yes, it'd be nice if we could. Right now, through all that area, we have 4 lanes, and without shoulders, it'd be nice if we had shoulders. If nothing else, I think the 4 lanes is going to be ample.
Okay.
Except we don't have shoulders.
Okay.
Could I add just a few more comments? In our exercise to find the best location for them, obviously they're going to be doing containers until we have a future major intermodal facility developed, which could be many years, several years down the line. Our crane is situated there, so any containers that start at this port will start in that area. The container yard needs to be as close as possible to the dock where that activity is taking place. We respect all the steel in our core business there, so moved it over a little bit, but having said that, it's still only 3 acres. It'll be a startup, and when they get their feet wet a little bit more, they can work with us and see if they can think of a better site that will work for them, and of course, obviously, is if they want to add acreage to it, then they can go further south and include that. So, just those comments.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, there are none. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the items on our regular agenda. We stand adjourned for executive session.